So I'm back. I have crocheted the cowl. One thing I forgot about how much I love crochet is that they, crocheted projects just go so much faster than knitted projects. And I'm not even good at crocheting. So there you go. If you want to read my exact thoughts step by step throughout this process of like every little thing, then you can go to my blog. I will link the blog post down below. And it kind of does it more journal style. So if you want kind of like a complete kind of thing, that's the way to go. But anyway, so this I'm just going to sum up my experience with. The videos, first off. The videos teaching you the stitches were really great. They were informative. I like that there was even one teaching you how to like wrap your yarn into a ball, because it's just something so basic that if you don't know that you have to wrap it, I mean, the skeins they gave us were the Superwash Merino, which they actually gave me the exact same one for the LRA. They gave me the same one for the Learn to Knit in the same color. So guess they got a deal on it. I don't know. But yeah, so it kind of, you know, you can knit directly from this. Personally, I always like to wind into a ball, and one thing they didn't mention is part of the reason why we wind into a ball as well is because they, yarn manufacturers often put knots in their skeins. So I find I like to wind it and then cut the knots out so that I can kind of not deal with them, because you always hit that knot right in the middle of the row on like a 400 stitch row, and it's the worst. You know, it literally is the worst thing. So, yeah. So anyway, so here's my crochet project. Videos were good. Gauge swatch. I like that they included a gauge swatch on a project like this, because if you don't know that you have to make a gauge swatch, it kind of can blindside you. One alteration I did make was I noticed when working on the pattern that if I did 3 stitches in here to account for the length of the double crochet, it just didn't look very tight. It looked very loopy and picoed, and I didn't like that, so I only did 2. Now, you will notice that my project does not look like a cowl like their project. That is because it is a 21 repeat pattern, so basically 12 rows before those 21 repeats. At 18 repeats, I ran out of yarn. So this is what I ended up with. It's a good look, no? So basically, yeah, there just wasn't enough yarn. I mean, I didn't leave that big of a tail here. I left, I mean, they did 6 to 8 inches. I don't really know what that is. And then I only had this much yarn on the end. Yeah, so I didn't have enough yarn, which was really disappointing. So I emailed Knit Crate service and said, hey, just so you know, like, these kits don't have enough yarn. And they pretty much said, well, your gauge was probably off, which it was not, because I did a gauge swatch. I was just excited to go, so I didn't stop and take a picture of it, but I wish I had, because I was perfect on gauge. And they pretty much just told me to block it. I like blocking. It's not gonna do much when it's that much of a disparity. So I've never had a bad experience with Knit Crate customer service until now, so I'm a bit, you know, maybe I just got somebody on a bad day. To be fair, I don't know exactly what I was expecting them to do, because it's not like they're gonna give, well, I don't know what I was expecting. I was just expecting more than, oh, it's your fault, you know? She did say they would take a look at it and do it for the next run, but it's not even that it was super tight. Like, she's got some room, and I would have had no room. So I didn't end up binding it off. I didn't end up blocking it or anything, because I think I'm going to take this apart and use the yarn with, if the knit cowl doesn't have enough, which honestly, I wish I was going into it more positive, believing that it would. But yeah, if it doesn't have enough, then I might just use the 2 yarns and make myself maybe like a hat and mitts or something. But yeah, I mean, it was disappointing enough for me as somebody who, this isn't my first time with yarn craft, but can you imagine if it's your first time ever doing anything yarny and you picked it up because, like, you know, your dead grandmother crocheted and then you wanted to learn and you got to the end, not even to the end of the first project, you got to the end of the yarn ball and they didn't throw it's setting up for a lot of disappointment. And I don't know. But again, you know, there were things I liked about this pattern. I like that it's only 2 stitches because it really allows you to form muscle memory. And with yarn crafts especially, I find it's all muscle memory. That's it. Like once you have muscle memory, you have everything, because it's just, you know, you're working off everything. So like I said, it's really disappointing, but what can you do? They didn't give enough yarn. I don't know if I can recommend this because of that, but we'll see what happens in the next, I don't know. Did you get this kit? Did you try it? Did you have enough yarn? Was it like, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm so perfect that it's not my mistake, because it could be something, but it's just when something's 12 rows off and my gauge was on, I just don't, I don't know. You know, it just, something doesn't seem right to me. So I don't know. That's my experience with it. I'm excited for next month. Apparently it's a hat.